We are back, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A together. So excited to finally get a chance to sit down and just ask you some questions. I mean, we spend a lot of time together. I don't think we spend enough time getting curious about one another. And today will be a fun opportunity to check in with one another and learn more.
So you're joining us here at our dining table.
Welcome to our home.
I have been trying to do a better job of doing more of the work at the warehouse so that the house can feel more like a space to
self-care.
Yeah.
Relax. Should we get into the questions?
I guess we should say, first of all,
what are you wearing?
Shout out to, what are you wearing? I am wearing a design that we launched this past week that's immediately became a bestseller for us. On the front, it says, "Keep going." It's the first time we've ever done something on the sleeve. On top of all that, a back print.
It's a reminder for the person in front of you, for the person behind you, and for you. So it's like really looking out for everybody in the picture.
What about you? What are you wearing?
This one I particularly resonate with. It says overthinking, overstimulated, and overwhelmed. When I wear this out, I know other people feel this way. So I like the idea that I'm normalizing that we're all kind of feeling this way. Let's jump in.
Let's get into it. What made you want to be an entrepreneur in the first place?
I don't know if I had the right words of I want to be an entrepreneur. I think my path just led me here with the things that I'm interested in. I was always interested in how to be creative. I remember in college, I had like a bow making business where I would make bows for all the sorority girls. When we met, I was in graduate school. AJ was an entrepreneur. Once I saw really what that lifestyle looked like he was making his own hours, he was able to come see me.
We just really wanted to spend as much time together as we possibly could. Stumbled upon this concept and kind of ran with it. Here we are 5 years later, so it's been a wild ride.
What is an early memory that stands out from when we were just starting out?
The first thing that came to mind is us in your dorm room pulling that all-nighter. We had decided we wanted to launch the e-commerce site on World Kindness Day, which we saw was coming up on the calendar on November 13th. We made that our goal. That night before, we're like, all right, we have to go live. I think I passed out.
I was just used to pulling all-nighters from grad school, so I was like, this is my prime time. But the website, to mention, was not that cute at first.
The website was very different. It's a journey. It's a journey to be a small business owner. It's never a boring moment. What was your relationship to mental health and self-care like before we started the company together, and what's it like now?
Before I even met Alan, I started therapy. The reason I started going to therapy was I was really struggling with my relationship to myself, my relationship to my body. I always hyped other people up. I was like, I always see the good in people, but I was really struggling to see the good in myself. I think I was really like, okay, I need to talk to someone about this because now I'm having panic attacks when I'm just doing everyday things like eating. And now at this stage in my life, my self-care and mental health is a lot more of being confident in myself. Also, in the span of creating this business together, I learned about my ADHD diagnosis. And I talk about it a lot because it's really opened my eyes to something I lived with my whole life and had no idea that I was navigating it. So a lot of times my self-care now looks like me managing some of those symptoms, figuring out systems that work for me and work for my brain type, so that I can show up as my best self.
You do a wonderful job, honey.
Oh, thank you.
You do great.
As an entrepreneur, how do you balance the demands of building a successful business with maintaining your own mental health and well-being?
It is something that I manage every day. I mean, some days better than others. It would be quite different if it was me as a solo entrepreneur. I have been just so grateful for you and for my brother on this journey. But yeah, how do I manage my mental health? With a lot of support and communication. What's the biggest dream you wish to achieve through your shepherding of SCIFE?
The biggest dream is, I think, more simple than anything. It's to stay alive. 20 years from now, and to look back and see the impact we made, hear conversations about mental health being completely different than they sound like now, and having it be more normalized and therapy be more accessible, and to see that mission being played out and it actually being a reality, surviving for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years for us would be the biggest dream. I know, that would be so amazing. So you've been an entrepreneur for coming up on 10 years or already 10 years?
I would say longer. Kind of born into this.
You've always been an entrepreneur. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who are interested in incorporating a social mission or cause into their business.
Make sure that it is something that you want to make your work. Sometimes it's nice to just have your passion be your passion. I think there's something beautiful to kind of keeping them separate for folks. My thing would be to make sure you want to kind of incorporate the two, and then people love to see brands, companies of any kind really caring about the humans that they serve. So this is how we choose to make an impact, or try to. So
right, this is what we're passionate about.
What's your proudest accomplishment from running Self-Care is for Everyone these past 5 years?
Every time we get a sweet customer email, every time someone shares the conversation they had when they wore their garment out, like, that makes me really proud. I'm really proud of how much dedication we have for this work, who we've gotten to wear these garments. Oh my gosh, that person gave us the time of day. That feels really something I'm proud of. There's a lot of things I'm proud of.
What's been the most difficult part of this journey for you? And what piece of advice would you give to someone or to yourself from right when the journey was starting?
I think a challenging part has been to step out of our comfort zone and show up on these platforms, feeling confident in the fact that we can offer value through our voice. The advice I would give myself or anyone who's starting out is, what do you have to lose? You started this, you've been working on this for the last 5 years, just share that. How do you see the business evolving in the future?
We're constantly coming up with a roadmap as we go. I mean, something we've talked about from the get-go is always more things like courses, books, things that allow us to delve deeper into these actual conversations and actually guide folks that may be newer, realizing that they need to really prioritize and schedule more self-care into their everyday lives and their relationship with their mental health. We've always talked about the garments being conversation starters, advocating for mental health. You are a mental health advocate just by wearing one of our sweatshirts or t-shirts or hoodies. We want to show up for folks with maybe something that could be even more meaningful for them, more impactful. If we can get past this like 5-year hump, we're really going to do a lot of it. But yeah, thank you so much as always for coming back and checking us out. Tell your friends, Self-Care is for Everyone. We're here. We're on YouTube now.
Where could they find us?
You can find us on Self-Care is for Everyone on Instagram, YouTube,
and
TikTok.
Thanks so much for watching. We're so lucky to have you here today, and come back soon.
Thanks, y'all. Peace.